So it looks like the players are about to kick off, so we're going to have a look at the screen, and I'm going to see if Angus is ready to join us to commentate the final.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, if you want.
Sure.
Okay, you want to jump in as well?
All right, so we're going to have a bit of a rotating cast. We've got Chris Melly here, we've got Jordan, and we've got a few players off to my side as well who I can't see. We've got Pete and Sophie loitering, as they say. So, Chris, we haven't heard much from you tonight. Who do you think is favoured going into this?
This is actually a very even matchup. I was on red-white heading into Mana Clash, and Will and I were doing a bunch of testing the night before, a couple of days before, and it's actually a very tight matchup. I know Willow and my list are a little bit different, but yeah, especially just the mono-white list, essentially, with there are other alternate colours involved. It is very tight. Play draw does matter a lot in this matchup, so Will probably goes in as a slight favourite, just getting to have 2 games on the draw out of the 3. So.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how these similar decks rumble. We see Javier Dominguez sitting in Willow's hand in the Fervent Champion. I really think this card is kind of a bit of an underplayed card, not in the format, and interesting to see what it does here. I've never really had a lot of respect for this card. I've always talked about it as the worst invitational card, but will it do a good job here? What do you think about the card, Jordan?
I think Fervent Champion is another example, one of those cards that often doesn't get... It's like you're probably 61st to 65th card, but if you're playing a deck with a high amount of synergy, like you're playing your Ember Cleaves, you're playing your Formal Wedge, you're playing your GTAs, whatever, I think it goes up in value. Similar cards like in that slot, I guess, are like Voldar and Epicure that look pretty bad, but in decks that are playing like Bombardiers, it makes a blood token that you can throw, it deals some damage, it turns on your spectral cost if you're playing a lot at the stage and stuff, so... there are a lot of those cheap one-drop cards that you can fill out your curve with to make sure you're putting things on the board if you need to.
And here we have Javier coming in for the swing. It looks like we'll probably have some bit of cheap interaction to target him.
He might be going for the Surveil land.
Yep.
Yeah, true. Oh, and it looks like he has taken the hit. So, here we are with the white-black Surveil. The back street is back all right. And we'll see what happens here with the Surveil. Oh, yeah. Angus, can we get an update on the graphics so that it says final? Thank you. Angus out here being international tech support, coming in clutch.
Just swirling his red wine in the glass like it's, like he's a...
He's got that Chianti,
international character of mystery.
Well, that's what Angus is like. So...
It feels like a poker game,
Yep, so we're updating the overlay to say finals now. Thank you, Shade Redemption in the chat. And we have, here we go, the finals.
That is Reese.
The finals.
Oh, yeah, legendary
Edwards, yeah.
legendary player Reese Edwards in the chat. So here we have the cracked fetch, and we'll see what happens here. Okay, Adeline. This has been a bit of an all-star card. It was a big factor in your game against Will.
I don't think it was that good in the game that I played against Will, but I think it's interesting using something like a Petal for an Adeline, which doesn't necessarily generate value immediately. If this gets swords or killed right now, Will's in a really bad spot, but I think he's getting the untap, which is pretty sweet. Spending an extra card into a white deck that can just answer it immediately without getting any value is like kind of asking for trouble. But unfortunately, trouble does not arrive.
Yeah, it seems like...
Just land pass from Willow.
Yeah, land pass is not what you're looking for from Willow, and
No.
I think Will seems to be moving towards the driver's seat. Yeah, here we go, 3 lands. What is the heater that Will gets to slam here?
I think there are some cards that are castable in Willow's hands, so maybe there's some interaction being held up here, like beginning of combat, kill your thing before you get a 1/1, or the 1/1 doesn't really do much into the Fervent Champion with first strike.
And here we go. So this card we know is, even though it looks like Ibhart Half Goblin Tactician, it's actually Broadside Bombardiers. An absolute smasher right now. So we're swinging in with the group. The 1/1 token is...
It's been found at the Fervent Champion.
Yeah, the Fervent Champion has been killed by the 1/1 token using the Broadside Bombardiers. And Will is really trying to make the most of this start.
I don't think that Willow can win this game from here.
Yeah. Oh, slamming a 2/2? Oof. does not look good, especially when you can easily just attack with the broadside bombardiers, trigger, get the 1/1 throws at the Magus. This looks like a quick game for Will. Hopefully Willow has an opportunity to make this game interesting, but here we have the Jitte to punish, and if
He's even overtapped the mana there.
Yeah.
Doesn't even
No,
care.
the Traders is a mountain.
Oh, it's a mountain because of the moon. Yeah.
If I was Willow, I'd be looking to move my shuffling muscles so that I can end this game as quickly as possible. There is no card in Willow's deck that I think gets them out. Like
Solitude Ephemerate's pretty good here, but even then, you're still so far behind. It's just not looking good for our hero.
Yeah.
Also, the Bombardiers is threatening to fling the Adeline for 5. The Bombardiers is already threatening to, and got the handshake already, I think.
Okay.
We're already conceding.
You just can't. You can't come back.
I do love these game 1, game 2 handshakes that have been happening. Like one of your game 2, Jordan,
know why
and
they
it was a
did
handshake. Will loves to handshake when he loses. So
The hand was extended, and I was like, okay, there's one more game. There's one more game, brother.
Yeah, you just really want to shake the homies, you know?
Yeah.
Shake the homies good night. But so that game was really quick. It just shows that these decks it just shows
Shake that hand. We love that.
so this
High rolled me in game 3.
yeah. So this game is another example about just how like these decks can be super quick, and Willow really had a hand that was a bit slow and just didn't really slam things out. So here we go. Angus has done something.
Sideboard cam, it looks like.
Oh yeah, we're looking at the hand cams here. I can see it looks a bit dodgy, brothers, from our end. Oh.
Yeah, I saw that part.
Okay.
Against my Atraxa.
Yeah.
It happened to me too.
Okay, so sorry, we're having a bit of banter here, so I can't. My brain isn't working, so let me get back into the focus zone. So, Sophie and Lou, do you guys mind just talking over that? Sorry. Too much chat and camaraderie here happening at the CBR MTG arena going into the finals. So, Chris, what do you think? Let's have a look at the sideboard cards from the sides of Willow to try and bring it back.
Does this go
Let
onto
me
the projector?
no, so I have to read them. So this is the cards that Willow has access to. Willow has access to Archon of Emeria, Batterskull, Brotherhood's End, Delayed Blast Fireball, Elishnorn Mother of Machines, Invasion of Gobekhan, Kentucky War's Wage, Maddening Hex, Path to Exile, Pyroblast, Relic of Progenitus, Rest in Peace, Sanctifier Invec, Skyclave Apparition, and Thalia Heretic Cathar.
I really didn't think you were just going to read all of those like that. Just cold reading all 15.
Well,
that's dedication.
You got to support the homies.
Professional slide reader and primary school teacher Max DK on the coverage.
You know me. I'm pretty good at reading those slides. I read them clean, you know. So Jordan, what do you think are some cards there from that list that are exciting for you going into this matchup?
I mean, it's tough because it's theoretically open deck list, so you're kind of tempted to bring into cards like Rest in Peace to turn off part of your opponent's engine. They're playing Animate Dead and so on, so you kind of want to shut that off, but at the same time it's kind of like doesn't play to the board, doesn't deal with any of the stuff that Will's doing if Will just plays creatures. So I'm bringing in Path to Exile for sure. I'm probably bringing in Batterskull because sometimes you just need some life and a creature against these decks, and blocks pretty well. But you just kind of want as many things to kill cards like Broadside Bombardiers as possible, and ways to not lose to that side of the game.
And you can see here the players are exchanging phone numbers, trying to get a cute date after this. But in all seriousness, I think that one of your comments that I really liked was that the graveyard hate and graveyard interaction is kind of bad here, because even though it kind of can create a positive impact by stopping plans like Animate Dead, it's such a small part of Will's deck. And the graveyard hate cards that are in Willow's sideboard aren't incidental graveyard hate. They're these all-in cards. We're just like against such a vast majority of Will's hand, they're dead.
It's not like he's playing Cemetery Gatekeeper or Unlicensed Hearse, which have a bit of extra attacking ability. Cemetery Gatekeeper is pretty cool from these red decks to eat a thing out of the graveyard, ping you some life and attack you.
I will quickly update you guys on Will's sideboard, and we'll talk about this before the game. So as Jordan will chastise me, I'll read out Will's sideboard. Containment Priest, Duress, Ephemerate, Lingering Souls, Palace Jailer, Path to Exile, Red Elemental Blast, Rest in Peace, Sanctifier Invec, Serenity, Sheoldred's Edict, Snuff Out, Surge of Salvation, Tomic Distinguished Advocist, and Torpor Orb. So, what do you think are some cards here, Chris and Jordan, that line up well into the white-red Moonshine list?
Torpor Orb for a start seems really good.
It's one of these cards that I talked about. It's kind of funny in Will's deck because it's really good against Will's deck. So it's a card that I would want to sideboard against him because he has these initiative threats and these powerful ETB
But
abilities.
he can just play, Torpor Orb, Archon, Sheoldred, Wandering Emperor, these cards that don't really care about entering the battlefield and just go, okay, I'm going to play a Troll of Khazad-dûm, I'm going to play a Torpor Orb, and I'm just going to, you can do whatever you want now, and I'm just going to kill you. So definitely I like Torpor Orb as a card that you bring in. Maybe you side out some of your initiative critters here, or you side out some of those kind of cards like Skyclad Apparition that are really shit if they're not entering the battlefield
Snuff
with a trigger.
Out I quite like as well into this matchup. It hits everything.
Yeah, it's really interesting here how the battle's going to come out because I do think that Will's list is just a fair chunk bigger than Willow's.
Yeah.
Willow has a lot of these kind of all-in aggressive one drops, where the only one drops that that Will is playing is Esper Sentinel and the Mums, and that means that I think in these longer games, Will has a lot more of an edge because Willow's playing these cards that are more all-in on attacking, like Fervent Champion and Rabbit Battery.
I agree with Koki too, bringing in things that deal with the board, a bit more Sheoldred's Edict, Snuff Out. But you do have to kind of hedge your bets a little bit into if you're on the draw and your opponent, the 8-point lists don't play as much of the, fast mana like Moxes and Crypts. But you don't want to let your opponent resolve a couple of those ETB white trigger effects that introduce mechanics to the game that you can't fight on. But definitely, I think, fighting on the board and keeping it clean and then resolving your bigger creatures because you're going so much bigger is a good way to play it.
I also don't like the hand that Willow kept in game one.
I would have loved to see that whole hand because obviously what we saw was very mid.
Very slow, especially into...
There's an Iganjo in there too?
So from what we saw in the hand, we saw an Iganjo. I saw Mental Misstep.
Yeah.
We saw the Magus of the Moon, and the Magus of the Moon is just not the 3-drop that you want in this matchup. It doesn't do that much into Will, and
Koki out here noted, 7-point Highlander committee member Koki has noted the Mental Misstep opinion. Maybe I should be on my soapbox talking about the cards I dislike the most. Hey, can we please put a point on, what cards do I hate? Plague Engineer naming elves? Let's get that out of the format. But in all seriousness, I do think this matchup is going to be tight. Hopefully we get to see players keeping their 7s and get a real interactive matchup between these two decks and not as...
Mulligan, I think?
Which side, sorry?
Willow just mulliganed. I'm not sure if Willow did too. No, Willow's hand is the same.
So Willow, we can see...
we can see Solitude,
couple of
we
lands,
can
a
see...
Solitude.
Sparring Vantage, is it?
Yeah. Waiting on Vantage.
So it looks like the game is on their way, and here, the 2-point Monkey. What a great start. Will needs to answer this. This is obviously the kind of question that the Monkey poses on the game.
Yeah. This is also the kind of thing that really will swing them this particular matchup.
Right. Will has answered the Monkey challenge successfully.
Yeah.
And
Legend Will showing us the hands.
Can you update live totals, someone?
Chris is going to go out onto the field and get the updated live totals.
I didn't see the mum in the opening hand. I couldn't see, but leading on the Monkey and then playing the Mother Rooms gives me the indication that maybe that was the draw.
I think it has to be the draw from a player like Willow with such noted pedigree.
Yeah.
You would expect them to, if they have the mum, play the mum to take the to
eat the removal spell and then dash the Ragavan with protection the following turn if that's possible.
That would make it way more impactful.
Is that sword? Prismatic ending?
Yeah, prismatic ending. So we're having just a trade from these threats from Willow's side for the removal spell on Will's side. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
This kind of game plan suits Will, who's playing 2 drops, 3 drops, and doesn't mind just keeping the board clear turns 1, 2, and 3, and then just resolving like a Palace Jailer on turn 4, and then just starting to accrue card advantage into a red-white deck that's run out of cards.
Yeah, I will say Willow's hand with the 2 1-drops early, that's how that red white deck really gets ahead, and the fact that Will had both removal spells at the right time. So we had Willow going turn 3 land pass. Like Will's got to be really happy about that, especially now they've got the Adeline coming down with 4 toughness.
And once again, the Adeline is not really the best card on her own, but playing any card into this lack of answers now, we can see Solitude for Theolingus from Willow.
For turn.
Now, for Theolingus is a very impactful card, but we see 4th for 1, not very good here. We can attempt a 4th for 2, but I don't like that kind of game here. I think kind of holding and seeing what's going on is more important. But it'll be interesting to see if Willow can sculpt a game where that 4th is impactful.
I don't mind. I think, is that another land?
It looks like a Ganjo in here.
I don't mind going 4th for 2 here, introduce the Monarch to the game, then untap with the Solitude for their critters. But just passing, doing nothing is kind of...
I think I think what it looks like Willow's trying to do is hold the Iganjo to shoot Adeline on the attack, which obviously makes a bit of sense. But I think with both the Solitude and the 4th as late game controlling cards, can kind of set Willow up well. But Willow needs to just not get like smacked on this whole time.
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got 1/1/1 flying in from Will. And the Iganjo has slain the Adeline. 1 building has been thrown at this woman.
Important given Will's board state, Willow does play Karakos, which would be quite useful if it can come out of the deck here.
It'd be a great draw on the Thalia.
Yeah.
Tokens coming tap now, right?
No, that's the different time.
But also importantly, Willow would get 1 less token out of the 4th Theolingus. Ooh,
Great draw.
This Fury is huge here. This has like moved Willow back to the driver's seat, and with an impending 4th Theolingus, could be huge. Path to Exile also ramping Willow towards that 4th.
Path really good into the Fury, obviously, but Will doesn't know about the 4th Theolingus.
Some point Fury takes there. I think that they're like a turn 5 Fury is actually kind of fair case for the card, and actually gives these decks some insulation against better sweeper than balance. I don't know if that's necessarily
I don't think
true.
that's true.
I also think it's really interesting here. I've heard some interesting takes from local luminaries in the Canberra scene that they feel like Fury is one of the things that keep powerful strategies like the Initiative in check, and that pointing Fury will really be another buff to the Chifley and Thomas-led Initiative archetype.
Or just even like all of the fast mana piles. Sometimes the only card that actually turns the game into an actual game is a Fury on like the squee or whatever they play on turn 1, and then the game's kind of fair again. Like both players have gone down 2 or 3 cards. You're playing with like 5 cards each, and there's somewhat of a game. I mean, it's either Fury or Force of Negation. Realistically, the 2 cards on the draw that you can have to still play Magic against these super fast decks.
Exactly. I definitely think Fury will eventually be a 1-point card. But I really don't want to be a 1-point card. My Junt list keeps eating points like crazy, and Fury is a star in my list, and it's definitely the kind of card that I'm going to play when it's on 1, probably 2 points eventually in the future. Like I love Fury so much, but
I do like freeing balance though. I am hype on freeing balance, but I think it's one of those things though where freeing it at a time where white decks are like probably the second most like played and powerful kind of core outside of red, is really at least that's what it feels like here. It's kind of like giving them a free card.
That's actually a really interesting point out of the chat, talking about the pointing of 4th Theolingus and Bowmasters in the same update, calling them answers to Initiative.
Right.
That is somewhat true. The other problem is that the Initiative decks are in those colours and just got to free roll those cards for free.
Keep heckling us. Keep heckling.
Willow throwing
Thinking
an
of-
infinite number of random tokens onto the battlefield, slamming in with
And
this
leads
horde.
one back to block. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the hand.
Oh, and Willow also reveals the next card to be pointed out of red, Broadside Bombardiers.
Willow doing the classic Magic the Gathering trait of still had all Ds, showing the Broadside Bombardiers, getting excited. We're going into the we hear the players, they're calling out ban it, more
Yeah.
points. I think it's really interesting here. We're going into the final game of this league for all the marbles, one game. Let's see 7 cards from each. Let's really shake it up.
Broadside Bombardiers is definitely one of the most egregious cards around at the moment.
Yeah.
I think Broadside Bombardiers needs to be a point eventually. I don't think now is the moment.
It's just a 2/2. That is true. It is a 2/2.
Sure.
Vance only plays cards that are 3/3s.
Or 3/1s or some nonsense, yeah.
Yeah, anything that can go up to 3, that's what Vance cares about coming from the Curd Ape enjoyer. But I definitely think Broadside Bombardiers, super impactful. Where I've seen Sophie throw Murktides 1,000 times with the Broadside Bombardiers. It's super huge, super impactful. Vance is correcting me. Most of his cards are 2/3s. Lone Lion does sit in that territory. But I do think that that Broadside Bombardiers does belong in the zoo, but it's probably the most powerful card amongst that archetype these days.
Yeah. It's also a pirate and a goblin. Like, two notably good archetypes to be playing.
Tribal Pirates, John?
Ragavan's a pirate. Breaches is a pirate.
Are you playing like, what's that like?
I did casting pirates.
Oh yeah.
Casting pirate. Malcolm's a pirate.
Yeah.
Pirate is a thing now, right? In
Did-
Standard?
Well, it's with
Pirates are outlaws.
Pirates are outlaws. Notably, do you guys know how to remember what the outlaw types are?
Is there some acronym here? Are you going to like primary school like?
So the acronym for remembering what the outlaws types is Warm P, because it's Warlock, Assassins, Rogues, Mercenaries, Pirates. So always just remember Warm P. It's very important. So let's have a look. So we've got some interesting discussion from the chat that I know my co-commentators are reading, while I'm out here making silly jokes about.
Yeah, they were getting domed. The
Yeah,
Son of Draco.
Koki bringing up a sore point from the Mana Clash for some of our people here of Sign of Dracos being flung from a Bombardiers.
Yeah.
Certain people are around here seeing that comment.
Well, I
Will's
got
mulliganing.
what I deserved because I won so many games flinging Murktide, so it's only fair to lose the semi-final to having a Draco flung at me.
Yeah, I definitely.
Street justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crowd hate these the Broadside Bombardiers. Crowd enemy of the pirate gang. So we're looking at these opening hands. We can see Thalia Heretic Cathar. We can see a Marshfats. Here we go. Will gets to take it away in the final game of the CBR Bluebell League. Esper Sentinel, been a bit of a star for these wide decks. Really impactful card, disruptive. Probably not the best card in the mirror because there's not many non-creature spells. But here we get to go see what Willow's response is against that Esper Sentinel. Worth thumbing through a selection of cards.
I think in this matchup, if you get a single card out of the Esper Sentinel, it's pretty good.
Oh, you're cheering. Yeah, absolutely cheering. And I think it's pretty unlikely, to be honest. But I think having 1/1s on the board is super impactful. Yeah, so we're looking at here, Will, let's see what his next curve out is. He's having a thing. There's cash on the table.
Oh.
Here we have Angus bringing in the money on the table. Very exciting. We love to see some high-stakes magic. Here for the money. Spectre's asking in the chat how the tournament's been going so far. It's been a really great top 8. Some really great games in the chat.
Cheerleader Jitte back on the table.
Yep. Most notably, Jide great at sitting off the side. Not really been equipped much this tournament.
Yeah.
But how do you guys think that...
Cypher, 0 Grixis, I'm happy to report. Grixis has not been seen at all today.
Yeah, not much blue other than a little bit of Sophie and a little bit of Pete. How do you guys feel like the impact of Umazawa's Jitte as a 0-point card has been on the format?
Done nothing, move on.
Minimal.
Jitte is in a really interesting place right now because of the printing of pre-war formal where we are seeing a lot more Stoneforge Mystic as well. So now it's kind of formed a neat little package in these white decks with Stoneforge, with Urza Saga, and just seeing a typical package of Jitte, Formal Wear, and Shadow Spear at the moment. Which gives them a little suite of answers into a lot of things.
I think it's a cool card for those decks to have. It hasn't made them any obnoxiously more powerful than they were before. It's a card that still leads to so many people getting blown out when they try to equip it, when there's all these free spells that are removal spells at the same time. It's a good card if you're attacking with it, but like so is any 3/3 creature. That like Territorial Carvu is a good card if you're attacking with it.
As a noted Elves enjoyer, I woke up in a cold sweat the morning after Umezawa's Jitte was let loose on the format. But I feel like the impact that it hasn't been like too outsized, and a lot of the decks that it kind of runs rampant on are decks that haven't been doing well in the format anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's been fine right now, and the fact that like Fury is a free card and it does Umezawa's Jitte's job way better is really huge and notable.
I think actually though, like on the point of Elves being unplayable and Fury being good, like there was a time when Elves was like one of the best decks in the format, and Gaia's Cradle at 0 is still so powerful that these Elves decks without, like if I'm not playing a Fury and I can't interact with my opponent just dumping everything on the board and hoofing me, you know, like it's not like a fun experience to be on the other side of a hoof and 10 Elves attacking you.
I definitely think like there was the time where obviously Wardsmith won Nats with Elves, and Elves has definitely been super powerful. We know that Gaia's Cradle, crazy card, but right now they're trash.
I think Gaia's Cradle is actually underplayed too. I think Gaia's Cradle could go in a lot of these decks that are playing your Slimefoots and your Squeeze and your War Bosses and all these creatures. I think it's just good there.
We did see...
Not good in this deck, but it's good. Like I think it's underplayed. It's very expensive.
Yeah, I
Good
definitely...
in this format.
Yeah. We did see at both Canberra 3 and Mana Clash, I cannot remember the player's name, but they were playing a quite spicy tokens brew.
Oh, Jack C, yes.
Yeah, where they were taking full advantage of Gaia's Cradle, and it was actually very impressive.
The
Card remains really powerful.
Hannah has been having a lot of success with your Slimefoots and your Squeeze, and they come on the same card now. How good is Magic?
Yeah.
They used to be different cards, and Slimefoot is not good. Yeah. When you add red to it, something becomes playable.
Yeah. So we can see that the game so far has gone to a bit of a stall.
Some questions being asked.
Yeah, some questions being asked, some queries happening. Maybe I could get one of my field correspondents to check what's happening out. Angus is out on the case with his large glass of wine. It's very comical. It's very beautiful.
Slime feet. Yeah.
we are probably going to see Jitte in action because we can see in Willow's hand we have Willow's Jitte as well.
Ooh, Will showing us
Lingering Souls.
Yeah. Card that Flyers do famously wear a Jitte very well.
But they also die to a Jitte.
They also do
very
die to a Jitte
effectively.
very well.
And Willow has a Jitte in their hand too. So
this might come down to the Jittes, funnily enough.
Can we get a Spider-Man meme enthusiast in the chat to make up the Jitte and Spider-Man pointing meme, please?
No, we have also legendary Canberra player Liam Minogue in the chat. Iconic to see this man here. So one thing I've been thinking about is one card that got a bit of a talk in my circles when it was previewed is not Umezawa's Jit, but the Lost Jit, or unaffectionately known by me, the Shit Jit. What do you guys think about that card and why that card hasn't seen much play in the format?
I think the things that
Where are we getting this from right now? Is there any more?
Yeah, it's right here.
Jordan, don't talk over it, Grace.
The things that Umezawa's Jitte does well are they do what you need for Jit, which is they affect the board. They let you get through more attacks to keep running the Jit training going and going. I'm sure everyone who's attempted to block a creature wearing a Jit that has counters on it knows that's an exercise in futility. The problem with new Jit, or shit Jit as it's being told, is that
Jitte Jitte.
nothing it does really lets you keep the train going. It might have a home in a slightly different deck where you're using the untapped target land to untap Urza Saga or Tolarian Academy to do some shenanigans, but I think there are better ways to do that. So I don't think it has a home at the moment.
Right. So the board state is developed with the 2 Lingering Souls tokens on either side. really Will's kind of spreading out. It looks like Willow had Brotherhood's End, so Willow's kind of setting up
that's
to see if they
disgusting.
can get a cheeky sweep. Choosing Artifact here is impactful. Choosing 3 damage is
Oh,
impactful.
you're dealing 3 damage every day of the week.
Talk to me about that.
Look at that.
What do you think Willow's going to choose?
Did Willow attack first at least? Should
No,
have.
Willow
Should have
didn't.
attacked.
We could just take early artifacts.
Willow didn't.
So,
Willow has chosen
Artifact
Artifact,
has been chosen.
Wow. Okay.
So
I actually kind of like that, knowing that Willow has their own JIT, knowing that Will has access to the flashback on Lingering Souls.
I feel like this is setting up like a bit of a bait where Will's like committing all these 1/1s to the board, and then the real Jit, the non-shit Jit, gets to come in, equip to the Prince, take out 2 of them, and then Willow's taking over this game.
Yeah. It does look like Willow might need to draw land 4 to...
Oh, this is huge. Obviously, Will doesn't know about the impending Jit,
Yeah.
but that's really impactful. Was that a Bombardier?
That was a broadside.
All right, here we go. Impactful
Okay,
cards.
we can see a few cards here.
I can see Samwise.
We can see Samwise for
Is there
sure.
a basic planes in there? Yeah.
I see Thalia 3. I see On Thin Ice.
Yeah. Snow-covered planes in there.
No, there's no.
Here we
land
go.
4 in there.
Thalia 3 enters the battlefield.
Will just with his hand upside down.
Yeah. We saw Will's fancy proxy Mox Diamond in the hand there.
Was that the Mox Diamond or the Soul Ring?
No, it was the Mox Diamond because it's the
The
gift.
cards with different arts on it just really tilt me
Yeah.
beyond belief.
Next time we have a proxy event, I'm banning that. I don't know why I have the authority, but I will ban now. Okay, Prismatic Ending, continuing to wipe Willow's board, and Willow's getting some chip damage dealt to them from these spirits.
I can't believe it.
Lingering
That
Souls.
Lingering Souls is still working.
There's still the flashback available as well.
I was recently chastising someone for
Is that a
thinking
White
about
Plume
playing.
Adventurer?
Oh,
You
huge.
just can't play White Plume here.
You
though,
can't play
into
White Plume
Lingering
into
Souls.
Lingering Souls.
Yeah, I was recently chastising someone for playing Lingering Souls, but lots of people have been playing it in the format. Here we have Lingering Souls threatening to absolutely monster the initiative. Obviously, Willow's been really looking for this 4th land, so it does get it for
Yeah.
them, but at what cost?
So this might be an angle where
Maybe Will attacks with 1, leaves 1 to block, and is that a path to exile in the hand?
there is a path, and there's also the On Thin Ice that we know about. So
I think you're hoping Will attacks with 1 and then leaves 1 back to block, like get the initiative, leave 1 back. But if Will has like flashback Lingering Souls money, he can attack with both, flashback the Lingering Souls, and you're just like, well. But also, Broadside is there, so
yeah.
there's some powerful cards in Willow's
Also,
hand.
now that Willow does have land 4, they can cast and equip Jit in the same turn.
Yeah, start putting some counters on those things.
And that's really where you get the value out of Jit, when you get to do it as a surprise.
Shadowy Backstreet, no Surveil.
The Backstreet is back, all right, once again.
You can't do it twice, Max.
Well, it's back, you gotta repeat the joke. One of the things that being a primary school teacher has taught me is you can just repeat jokes ad nauseum and kids will laugh.
Attacks for 2, no. So I
Yeah,
reckon
not
we're
holding
seeing
one back
a flashback Lingering Souls here, but I've been known to be wrong.
frequently.
I know it happens all the time.
Yeah, so Will's taken the initiative and has found Basic Swamp.
Yeah.
Do people in the chat have thoughts about Will's choice of basics?
And Gavany Township.
Yeah.
Straight to jail, Max. I agree. Pity laughs from primary school kids have to cut a special kind of deep. That's true, yeah.
Liam out here with the
Yeah.
casual roasts. We love to see it.
I think we all know and remember that children have no filters and can be brutal.
Passing the turn back, no spells, is kind of like saying, I have a solitude here, go on and attack me.
Yeah.
5 mana untapped is...
Or it's Wandering Emperor. I know Will plays that, so
Yeah.
I think he's just saying, go on, attack me, bruv. See what happens.
Yeah, I think Willow has to think that there's something, but does Willow have the capacity to play around anything?
I don't think you can equip a Jitte here. I think you have to play some shit and attack and see what happens. Bombardiers to kind of force something.
Yeah, I think with Will representing multiple instant speed ways to deal with a cast Jit and equip, I think that would be way too risky of a line here from Willow.
Yeah.
especially as Willow does need to get through to get the
Plays
initiative back.
plays the tapped advantage land number 5.
Yeah.
We're seeing 3 mana. I think we're seeing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Broadside,
Broadside
yeah.
Bombardiers. Hugely impactful card. Will
we
it
see
eat a
a sword?
solitude?
I see a
Swords
Swords
to
to
Plowshares?
Plowshares in Will's hand.
I know, it's crazy.
The initiative is really retaking over the format. It did 2 years ago when Josh won Canberra, and now it's like the head of the format yet again.
I don't know if it's actually as good as it looks though. I feel like playing against it, I never feel like it's not that not close. And I do agree with like some of the statements in the points discussion threads where it's obviously very strong, and I don't like playing against the mechanic, but it does actually create some interactive games in the sense where you're having to play creatures and attack and do things, but it's clearly very, very strong. So I don't know what they're going to do about that.
Yeah.
That's not my problem.
Up to the committee.
I'm just a gamer who will continue playing regardless of how badly my opponents progress through the dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the third. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I
So-
definitely lost my game to the second initiative creature.
Yeah, I lost in my game against Willow, even just to ephemerating the White Plume to go one step further into the dungeon, and that one extra step.
So we
changed
saw
the
a
entire
we saw
play.
a swords there on the bombardiers, but no other effects, and the initiative was gained back,
Yeah.
which really surprises me.
So my query is here. Obviously, if you were going to swords, why didn't you flash back the lingering souls on that previous turn?
Yeah.
Like that just felt to me like you wasted so much of your potential energy and your mana by not
Yeah.
spending the things on that turn.
Yeah, I agree with you, Liam. Definitely. I think the first one, as someone who plays one, I'm allowed to play one. I like playing one of them, and I like facing one of them because it also means the game doesn't go on for 20 turns. It kind of ends soon, which I'm interested in. Not too soon. I don't like losing on my second turn, but I don't mind losing on my 8th turn. I think that's fair enough. 8 turns is a fun amount of magic.
And now we're seeing Lingering Souls really take over the game.
It's crazy.
We have travelled back to 10 years ago when Snapcaster Mage was a good magic card.
Willow missing his initiative trigger to untap the White Plume as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thankfully, it wasn't particularly impactful due to the flying.
Well, you never know what kind of haste creatures come out.
True, yeah.
Free Snapcaster, no.
We have an Animate Dead from Will.
On the Charming Prince?
That's a choice.
Well, what were the other options?
Yeah, true.
I guess we must go for a Scry too. Another question in the chat. Free Snapcaster. No.
Well, as much as I think that the card is not very good anymore, even though Liam Minogue strongly agrees otherwise every time I talk to him, I think giving that card to Grixis as a free magic card is just a recipe to get beat down upon by Grixis gamers till the end of time.
Even decks like Time Walk, just play it. I don't think the format's in a place where you can depoint cards that go in 6 or 7 different decks.
Yeah. I'll also say that Snapcaster Mage still sees significant play at one point.
Yeah, it's like in the top 6 or 7 cards that are played.
So I think it would be a mistake to...
It definitely feels like a half-point magic card. And here we go. The Jitte is attempting to slaughter these hordes of spirits. It's a very slow job, but
Could actually get there, and this could be like a really good, one of those things where it looked like introducing the initiative was not what you wanted to do, in the sense of you're facing down a Lingering Souls and then 2 things, but Will not using his mana effectively on that turn and not playing those out earlier now means that Willow can keep attacking, untapping, killing the other spirits. It's not looking good.
Yeah. That being said, Willow is down to 5 after the trap trigger. And we've got what I believe is a dismember.
No, I don't think that's Dismember, but I don't know what card it is. Can you go to the field and check, please?
Yeah.
So we are getting an update on one of Will's very annoying proxies.
That's Stoneforge? Okay. That was a Stoneforge Mystic.
Okay.
So Will's currently tutoring.
So Will's showing the chat his
Yeah.
beautiful Stoneforge Mystic that's styled upon the Heroes Warcrafting. And here we go. He's tutoring up. So obviously we've already seen the Imazala's GT. So we're looking for something
suspect
like
this might be
the pre-war formal
Probably,
wear.
this is probably a pre-war.
Fail to find? No, there. I was
Yeah,
like, what is
yeah.
he doing?
Yeah.
We are before the war, and we've got the snazzy clothes to prove it. So what? I don't know what targets are in Will's graveyard at this point.
I believe not much, because Will hasn't actually played a lot outside of removal spells and the Lingering Souls.
I don't think there are any targets in the graveyard.
No, I think this is more of just a threatening piece.
And the Charming Prince obviously will go back to
To Willow's
graveyard?
Yeah. The spirits have been removed. Yep.
Oh, we do have the
Point
Esper Sentinel.
Yeah. And
Well
Sentinel
reminded.
does wear Formwear quite well,
It does.
taxing each spell for 3.
Yep.
unable to
huge.
cast. I mean, could have cast it just then and put it on the battlefield, but didn't.
But obviously, Will's made the choice to kind of hold up that
Make
mana
a
for
saga.
constructs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make a token.
Now, this is one of those games where Jute is looking really spicy from Willow. It's looking like a...
I don't think it looks like a 1-point card here, though.
Oh, I think 0-point cards can be spicy, Jordan.
Yeah, they can be.
Lanois Elves, spicy magic card.
This is a very interesting player.
Yeah, here we have the attack.
Kind of has to get the initiative back here.
Yeah.
Willow really wants to compete on that initiative angle, not let Will go to the Throne of the Dead 3.
Ooh, and Willow's gone to 3 off of that with the Ancient Tomb. So,
It's going to be close.
yeah.
Construct has been made.
Yep. So,
Oh, Willow's holding it up.
Willow still has...
A path to exile.
Yep.
Before blocks.
Yeah, definitely before blocks.
Thanks to Koki for the shout out. It was really great. Obviously, we're not over yet, but it's been really great producing the show for you guys and been a really great night here, especially pizza. Shout out.
Yeah, the pizza was good. Thank you, Max and Angus and the rest of the team for organising tonight.
Well, let's see how the final match goes, and because this is a really pivotal combat step. Obviously, stacking these points onto the GT gives Will some ability to have a life cushion, ability to remove some players. Like, Willow is definitely flunging in, but this could be an impactful choice.
And
You always feel like this is like one of those pivotal moments where the game either is won or lost. I heard the size. Did he drop it or something?
Interesting. Okay.
What level is Willow on in the dungeon?
So Willow
Willow
is
is
on.
in the Forge.
So
Yes.
Willow will deal 5 after combat.
Really huge.
And Will is already in the forge.
Willow's
Will's
in the
already
Forge.
trapped. He's
Yeah,
already trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will is in the trap. Willow is in the forge,
Yeah.
and Professor Plum is in the conservatory with the candlestick.
No, thankfully, there aren't any Cluedo cards being played in this game.
Yep.
Well,
Angus there with the comically large wine glass.
No Scarlets in these lists?
No, only in yours.
No, yeah. Lewis was the only one registering Headliner Scarlet today.
Angus needs a really big glass to drown his sorrows for not qualifying for the top 8 of his own league, despite being 4-0.
Angus was my only loss in Swiss.
Headliner Scarlet is cracked in these lists, and I think Scarlet's definitely actually underplayed in these decks. It's just a crazy card.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of card that would see a lot more play if it was a little more accessible. Only being available in the Cluedo product of all things.
People lose to it and they realize they want to play it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 5 damage has been taken from going to the trap.
Yeah.
Now, notably, we've got those 2 points killing the Charmed Prince. Will's board is wiped. Now, obviously, Will has the pre-war Formalware in hand, the Urza's Saga that's going to tick to its 3rd mode, but maybe this seemingly risky attack could be what claims Willow the game.
And the untap too, so we can get some life in a pinch.
Yeah.
Formware gets back Sentinel but can't attack.
Yeah.
I feel like Willow has made a choice that I necessarily wouldn't have, and it seems to be putting them in a powerful position. We love people getting rewarded for making tricky decisions.
This is like, honestly, this is a game that makes the initiative look like a sweet mechanic. Like, this game's been super back and forth. It's been really swingy. Like, both players have like had to make really tough decisions based on the mechanic. There've been cards that have kind of made it look bad, and they've still been played in the game. It's like really powerful. It's been a good game.
It's the kind of game that Thomas and Shifley watch before they go to bed at night. Like, it's definitely an exciting one. Yeah, really, really great back and forth game. I think Will's in a tricky position. Will was like, "How is this game going?" Like he was in such a great position earlier, and now he's looking at those whiteboarded lands. Like, I wish I had some prettier lands.
Yeah, it looks like Will has probably drawn a fair few lands.
Yeah.
Just based on the game actions that we've
I
seen.
mean, he's been pathed and...
Yeah, but it doesn't look like Will has. The kind of top of the deck doesn't look like it's been nice.
This
to
game would be
Will.
much more interesting if the initiative wasn't in it. Nah, then no one's attacking. They're all just standing there going pass, pass, pass. Sit behind my board state of creatures.
It's definitely interesting to see how different people have different opinions about board states and how games go. I definitely think that the texture of this game is defined by the initiative in an interesting way, where I definitely agree with like people like Vance that some games the board state is the texture is changed in a boring way.
Headliner Scarlet. Yeah, to be honest, Headliner Scarlet with a board state, ugh, it's feral.
If it would be on turn life, this game wouldn't move.
Yeah.
For all the criticism of the initiative, it has forced both Will and Willow to make some attacks and to make some moves in this game.
Every game on the initiative is the same. That part I do agree, Liam. It does homogenize gameplay. And so, like, yes, they're making these decisions, but it's all leading to the same point in the sense of it's like we have to deal with this thing before someone gets a Bombardiers off their trigger and wins.
Yeah. I would like to say, though, that while the initiative is a very powerful mechanic, it is good to have mechanics in the game that make you engage in the combat phase.
And now we have our we have Will really thinking. He's definitely in the tank here.
Is he going to make a construct or not, I guess, is the question.
Yeah.
I think he's just thinking about his outs, and he probably doesn't have a lot. But like Lightning Bolt is obviously a huge out. Things like a Broadside Bombardiers win him the game here.
Will is not on Lightning Bolt.
That's a really
which is
interesting note
crazy.
to
Which
have.
is just crazy.
But also, Willow does have 2 counters on the GT, so Willow is effectively on 7 life at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
Bombardiers though would be a great draw.
Sorry?
The
There's only 1 counter.
two
Okay.
from the forge.
Yeah, because one went on the
Correct.
Charming Prince to kill it.
Yeah, some good information from the floor. Only 1 counter on the JIT. Sorry, so.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Will playing a red deck that doesn't rely on Bolt, with Bolt being a huge card
March
in
of
this
Otherworldly
format.
Light.
Yep.
Yep, this is huge. The board state's kind of even, but it's important to note that there's the Den of the Bugbear sitting on Willow's side.
And did
Hiding
he not make a construct there?
Yep, Will
No, he did
chose
make a
not
construct.
to make it. Sorry? There's no construct.
No construct.
Yeah. No construct from Will. Interesting. I think he's holding his mana for something, or he was playing to some sort of
Going
out.
for the pre-war formal wear.
Is this the Mystic? The
This is the Stoneforge.
for
So
Esper Sentinel, or they're really having a think here.
So he's counting the mana
counting
in
mana.
terms of the Urza Saga floated colorless.
Yeah, I believe
Right.
we've gotten there now. Yeah.
Stoneforge goes again. What else is left in the deck? Jide is gone. Yeah, is he playing the boots? Another. What is this card check?
Looks like a Shadow Spirit by the name, like the letters.
Yeah,
make
it
look
looks like a
I
Shadow
believe that is a
Spear.
Shadow Spear.
Is it Defiant Strike?
Yes.
That's Shadow Spear.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the Shadow Spear. Now this can be really notable because if Willow swings in with that Den of the Bugbear, this block means that Will is not dead. So I like this line from Will. Obviously we were kind of, but it doesn't get equipped.
No, not enough mana to equip.
Not
and
enough
play.
mana.
One
So
mana short there.
a day late and $1 short.
So I guess this will also depend on, does Willow have a better attacker than Den
She's
of the
full of
Bugbear?
him. She's full of him.
Yeah.
Max
I
has just
think-
got his back pocket just full of idioms.
Because if Willow has to
Radio present of WhatsApp.
if Willow has to use Den of the Bugbear as their attacker, and if they do want to equip the Jit, that's all their mana. Also using the Ancient Tomb, and that puts you on a really low life total.
Yeah,
So,
and the trample of the Shadow Spear means that you kind of can't
will
mess
also
around
be
at all.
relevant, yeah.
When it's like what, a 4/5 now, 4/5 vigilance or something.
3/4.
Yeah, but it will be a 4/5.
It'll be a 4/5 with the Shadow Spear. Yeah. Looks like Willow also may have missed their initiative trigger.
They looked at it, didn't they?
Yeah, it looks like Willow. I think they might have.
I would love to know when we are. We're not going to ask the players, obviously, in which phase we're at. But here we go. Willow going to the elusive life total
Oh
1.
god, this is so awesome.
This is
So, is that Elish Non-Grand Cenobite?
No.
Thanks for shaking it at the camera so we couldn't read it.
maybe Mother
Mother
Machines. Yes. So.
Double triggers.
Yep. So for those who don't remember what the card does in chat, we have a 4/7 here, and essentially all of Will's ETBs are turned off, and all of Willow's are doubled.
It's kind of like it's like the Tulpa Orb on crack, but
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's
good for you
It's,
at the same
it's
time.
the unholy bastard child of Torpor Orb and Panharmonicon.
Two cards we never wanted to get together, but
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, it's actually
Torpor
a
Orb
kind
be
of story win that it's Elish Norn doing that.
Tulpa Orb be the fentanyl and Elish Non be the crack, bro. It'd be like how things could be, you know. They be shooting threes, they be changing tires, bro. They be doing all kinds of
Yeah.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So another land coming out here, the Badlands. Will is really sitting in Land City. And this is the turn where he gets to start equipping.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Rumbling... So the stats on this, he gets +2/+2 in Vigilance from the...
So 4/5 with the Shadow Spear.
So the 4/5 can attack into the Elish Norn.
Not
I'm
with the
kind of
Jit
shocked
counter.
that we didn't... Oh,
Can't
not
with the Jit counter.
Yeah, that's really notable.
If Will attacks, Willow can block with the 4/7 and then use the Jit to put the last point onto the Stoneforge.
And there's 4 mana, is it 3 mana there? So still could have some shenanigans
Yeah.
in the back end.
Yeah, definitely looks like Willow's representing something.
Does Elish Non Mother Machines have vigilance too, right?
Yes,
Correct,
they
So
both the fighters have vigilance.
Turns
right
off the Wandering Emperor from Will.
We've got a Samwise, what I assume is probably an end step Samwise, yeah.
Which notably can make something the Ring Bearer and then can't be blocked.
Yeah.
So it can get under the Stoneforge. I think he might have missed the ring trigger potentially.
I would hope that Samwise would be its own ring bearer.
Kind of hard to know. There's been no token
Yeah.
that denotes what's happening here. It's a trigger that you can often forget with the Samwise.
Yeah, it's because often it's not the part of the card that you're playing it for.
Have we continued to miss initiative triggers here again?
They just listened to the chat. They got rid of it.
I think they have
Yeah.
missed another
Yeah.
trigger because that
Yeah.
should be the Throne of the Dead 3.
Yeah, Willow should be completing the dungeon at this point. This is actually...
This is huge for Willow.
This is some really big missed triggers here from our players. I guess the problem of being at not quite comp rel.
Well, this same thing would happen at Compra. Like, this
Yeah.
is just what happens.
But
You
I
don't-
think Will, the other player, has to call a judge and say you've missed the trigger. Do they have to?
No, they don't.
They can just let it go,
They can just let it go.
even though it's like a failure to maintain the game state from the other player.
Yes, so we've I've had discussions about this at Compra
Wow.
with judges, and you just let your opponent keep missing it. Now we
It's whoever
seem
introduced it.
we seem to have an error with the broadcast
stream.
on our stream. We can't see what's going on, and I don't know if you guys can hear our audio, but we are just going to keep talking about Magic the Gathering, I guess. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can just miss triggers. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we can see now. Sorry about that, guys. Just an error. Oh, and we've lost the vision, and we've got the vision back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, some stuff's happened here.
Oh, so we've got...
Oh my
wow,
goodness.
some things have happened here. Okay, so if we backtrack here, Stoneforge Mystic has come down and getting double triggers from the Elish Norn there. So
And
it looks like we saw a Batterskull and a pre-war Formalware coming out of Willow's deck, and that is a pair of very powerful equipment.
Just forgetting it. We're just talking about the judge ruling whether or not you can forget the initiative trigger.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's
they
not
were just
twice.
Can happen to me at Mana Clash. You
Yeah.
can
So-
Trigger. The initiative
Yeah.
is really good, but you have to remember it.
So we have
Did
some
he miss
exciting.
the ring trigger as well on Samwise?
Because that should be
So
actually that's important because level 2 of the ring is a looting effect. So
Yeah.
So we have some exciting chatter here about the continuous forgetting of things that have happened
and
this game.
it seems like from the action Willow is now realised.
Finals tensions are high.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's 11 p.m. and we've been playing Magic for a little while. Willow doesn't have the excuse of being drinking wine. However, still,
Jordan does.
It's late.
Yeah.
I didn't make any decisions that I missed. So
Oh, and we have some excited hollering from outside. I don't know what's going on, but
Have a red wine still.
oh no! And
Oh no. Okay. So
the ultimate danger has happened. Red wine has been spilt on the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen.
not on the battlefield.
Okay, so importantly for chat, Will brought a spare playmat for all of the top 8 competitors to sign tonight. Some of us have already gotten on there. It seems like the red wine is spilled on the signing playmat for Will. So
Angus has signed the playmat.
yeah,
In blood.
Yes.
yeah. So that's Angus's signature right there.
He's
Thank you,
taken 2
Lewis.
damage and drawn 2 cards.
Yeah,
This is a bit of a legendary chaos here in the finals. The missed
Yeah.
triggers, the spilt wine. You know that we are here really.
Double initiative miss trigger is pretty brutal. Like
Yeah.
the game should be over. Like
Yeah.
that's 2 cards deep. But I mean, it looks pretty over here.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
that is
like it looks like the game is in Willow's favor
Oh
anyway.
no, that's
Oh
a huge
no!
stain.
It kind of looks like it's actually part of the
Yeah,
art.
yeah.
It looks-
Although given the art on the mat,
Bauble and
actually, it could be worse, to be honest.
Red wine moonshine. Yep.
Yeah.
Red wine.
Okay. Yep. So Willow is now advancing through the dungeon correctly.
Crazy that is an aspect of this mechanic.
Yep.
And I think we identified that there was a ring
Ooh,
bearer.
okay,
Or
here we
Inti
go.
is really
Here-
strong here.
We have Inti. Inti giving trample and giving extra cards is going to be really helpful for Willow.
Does it get 2 triggers?
No, on the ETB
no, on the
triggers.
ETBs, yeah.
It's not Delney, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we have Jordan
Delney Stan over here.
Jordan is a noted Delney enthusiast. Expect to see Delney in a format near you, and the Solitude. I think that claims the game.
Oh, there's a pause here.
The double trigger on the Solitude.
That's really.
I think the Inti revealed the Solitude at the top.
Yeah.
Gain
Oh,
2.
okay. Yeah. So Willow is using. Willow used their
Jitte to gain
their
2.
Jit counter to gain life to be able to use the Ancient Tomb.
And this looks like it has to be it here. What could Will have to pull it back from this position?
He's going to gain some life.
Yeah, Will gain 4 out of this. Yep. Up to 13, but...
Oh, it's an exciting moment here on the
Oh,
battlefield.
and he's eating his own Samwise to gain 2 more life.
Yep, okay. So Will's now taken...
And Will down to 8.
Got to have some good draws here.
Yeah.
There are some. Melbourne has been saying it's the second best Lost Caverns card for a minute. Yeah, Inti's really good.
The best Lost Caverns card?
There are a few.
Get
there are a few
Lost?
cards.
Aclazots?
I think Inti's probably up there.
No, but if they're saying it's the second best one,
Yeah.
what's the best one?
of course,
Broadside.
Broadside, yes.
Oh.
Technically speaking, I guess, yeah.
Broadside, of course, from Lost Caverns of Ixalan Commander. But yeah, I think we can give Inti the best main set card.
Yeah. Oh, here we go, and
yeah.
that's over.
And Willow takes it.
Willow,
Wow.
I think Willow
Yeah.
would be killing them,
Right, at least
like kicking themselves if they
Wow, yeah.
kind of lost after
that's
missing
a
that many
lot.
triggers.
What an
Congrats.
what a crazy event.
Yeah. Thank God Will didn't win.
Yeah. Players getting
Red Wine
very
Moonshine
excited.
takes it down.
Red Wine Moonshine has
Yeah.
slayed. So I've got Chris sitting next to me. Chris, what do you think's the big takeaway here with Willow as our winner?
Well, as an 8-point enjoyer myself, I am happy for our 8-point hero today. Willow played very well today. Willow beat me in the first round of top 8 in a really close game in our game 2, where Willow completed the Undercity twice in order to win that game 2. Willow had a very tight game against Sophie, going 2-1 in the semi-finals, and has now won against Will 2-1 in the final. So
Incredible.
Willow's had a really good run through the league and through this top 8, and yeah, I think it shows how white aggressive decks are in a good space at the moment in the format.
Big time.
This has been
Yeah.
a really amazing evening, and I just
Yeah.
want to thank all the viewers at home for watching. And I
Yeah.
think on behalf of Angus and myself, I want to thank everyone for viewing. Also,
Yeah.
tomorrow, Angus, is something big happening?
Yeah. So tomorrow will be MTGO tournament winner duel. I'm playing Chaos Control, which is just Ancestral Recall Cascade, which is a bit of fun. Thank you so much, Max, and of course Chris as well for doing the commentary. It sounded incredible from my side. Let's get a quick interview from Willow. I'm gonna see if this has got enough batteries. We'll quickly go out. Yep.
Never matters. Because I
Except
don't
when your
have
opponent has a 4/5 and you can attack under it. Yeah.
No, because... Oh, yeah, right, you can do that. Fuck.
What's that?
Angus, someone's asking, are you going to the markets tomorrow?
Oh, the mark. Maybe. What? Yeah. Maybe. Likely.
Congratulations, man.
Willow, congratulations. Do you want to attribute your win to any specific card?
Comet Stellar Pup.
Okay, very good. Very
Good boy.
He's
a very good boy.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your win. That's league top 8 winner for 2024 is Willow. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Some lot of important plays around here in Canberra. A lot of important players, and we're showing our full force. Congratulations, Will, for second place. He's working over his deck list at the moment. Incredible work by everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, you'll see us tomorrow. Who's asking? Uncle Meat? Yeah, likely coming to the markets tomorrow. Should be very nice. Lots of Wills and Willows in the top 8. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll close it off there and give our players a much-deserved rest. But we will see you tomorrow bright and early. Same place. That's twitch.tv/CBRMTG. You can find us later on youtube.com/CBRMTG. We're often on 7 Point Highlander Discord if you want to go in there. And if you're ever in Canberra, head down to your local game store and you might see some of this gaming action right in front of your very eyes. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful evening. And we will talk to you later.
Wandering Emperor?
Yeah, I had nothing, man. I had a Mox Diamond and a